Flosstube friends, welcome back to my channel, Pages and Stitches. That's spelled pages, the number 3 stitches, both here and on Instagram. My name is Kelly and I am here with my September wrap-up video for you, and I'm so excited. So today is Sunday, October 1st. We are finally officially in fall. Like, nobody can argue that October isn't the fall, you know what I mean? And so today I have for you my September wrap-up video, which is Flosstube number 23. If you are new here, as you can see behind me, I'm also a quilter, and for every Flosstube video I also do a quilting video. I call it my Quilter's Corner, so keep an eye out for that if you are at all interested in quilting and want to check that out. That should be uploading shortly after this one. And of course, let me start by saying just a massive thank you to everybody who is here giving my channel a try. If you are a returning viewer, thank you so much for coming back. I value each and every one of you. I value your friendship and your input, and I love to share this craft with you. And if you're new here, thank you for stopping by. I hope you like what you see. I hope you hit like, subscribe, and keep coming back, because I just I love meeting new people, and I love talking about cross-stitching and quilting. And then of course, if you are new here, you know what, regardless whether you're new or returning, just say hi in the comments, because I do love to interact with you guys every month in the comments. You guys say such amazing, wonderful things that makes me feel all warm and fuzzy inside. So thank you so much for doing that, and for supporting me and encouraging me and giving me a little bit of ego boost every time you say nice things. So also, I guess I should say, the eagle-eyed among you will have noticed that I have more ink on me. It's obviously not done. The outline is still healing. It's almost done, and then I'll be getting the color, or at least most of the color, in the next like 2 weeks from today, actually, is the appointment. So I'll tell you the story then. Of course, you can follow me on Instagram. Every time I have gotten a tattoo, I like to write a little blurb or story about what it means and why I wanted it, and so I'll be posting that there when it's done. And I know there's probably at least one of you out there that is wondering or may ask if this part on the back of my hand was painful, and the answer is yes, absolutely, 100%. It was really spicy. Oh well. So as per usual, I'm gonna start with my reading update, the books that I read for the last month. If you are new here, the Pages and Stitches is representative of my third passion, which is reading. I try to read every day. Usually I do pretty good about reading every day. And so I just like to do a quick little update of the books that I read in the last month. So the first book that I read is actually kind of special, because this is an author that I've been reading for, you know, God, I want to say I read my first book of hers when I was 21. I'm 34 now, and this last book that I've just read from her is very special because it is the completion of her repertoire. I've now officially read all of her books in this genre that she's written, and I'm a little sad about that. So anyways, that is this book here, which is called Where Dreams Begin. This is a Regency romance by Kleypas. She reigns Queen Supreme over Regency romance, and I highly recommend her books if that is a genre you are interested in. The next 3 I will be inserting pictures of because I read them all on my Kindle app on my phone. All 3 of them are the first in their respective series, and I prefer to read like actual paper books. I only ever read books on my Kindle app if I am too ashamed to read them in public. But I'm going to tell you what they are, so here we go. The first one is Grinder by Samantha Whiskey. That is a hockey romance. This next one is The Pucking Wrong Number by C.R. Jane. And then the last one is Choosing Theo by Victoria Aveline. So Sometimes you just gotta read something that doesn't have any literary merit, right? It's like a brain cleanse. Okay, so let's get into the stitching, shall we? I have so much fun stuff to show you. I'm so excited. Last month I set some pretty lofty goals for myself, and I am so pleased that I was able to check off every single one of them, and I'm freaking pumped to show you what I've accomplished. So not only do I have one finish, I have two finishes. And not only do I have two finishes, one of them is fully finished. I know some people are more process stitchers. They just enjoy the process of stitching for what it is. I'm very much a progress stitcher, and anytime I get a finish, it is so satisfying. And this month I got two, so I just felt like on top of the world when I finished them. So I have two finishes, whip updates, and two new starts, both of which I started with two very lovely ladies, and I'll talk about them when I show you those projects. But let's start with the FFO. So I will have to insert a picture here. I don't have a printed copy of this pattern. I had been working off of it on my computer so I could zoom in on it. And that's this pattern here. This is called She Came Down in a Bubble Dug by an Etsy shop called Landscapes Are Boring. If you are confused by what this is, it's the dialogue from a viral social media video about a guy and his roommate, presumably, arguing over whether or not Glenda the Good Witch and the Wicked Witch of the West are sisters, and if she's a princess. They're not, and she isn't. But regardless, the video is hilarious. And the story behind this pattern is my sister and I both love that video, and she requested, like back at the beginning of the year, that I stitch this for her birthday, and I didn't tell her that I was doing it, so it's going to be a surprise. Her birthday was actually in September, and I was intending originally to give this to her in September, but because of some travel and some family illnesses, we actually never got together to celebrate her birthday in September, which is why I still have the project with me. That's going to be coming later. So all that to say, I still have it, and I'm excited to show it to you now. Okay. Here it is. I'm trying to tilt the ring light out of there. So, the last time you saw it, I don't have any pictures to show you. I haven't been taking picture updates because I have to keep it off of my Instagram because it's a surprise. Even though she requested it, she doesn't know I'm stitching it. But I'm pretty sure the last time you saw it, this was all that I had left to do, was this bottom row. This is stitched on an 18 count Aida. The color of the Aida is vintage, and it's a printed Aida. So the modeling is only printed on the front. It's not dyed. And it is sitting in a floating frame, as you can see. I ended up going with that option because, first of all, the fabric that I was stitching it on gave me like almost no margin on this side, but I just pulled from stash. And then it's a weird size. It's like 10 by 11-ish, and there's no standard frames that it really fits in without having like an odd margin, you know what I mean? So I just got a floating frame, and then I cut it a little bit taller at the top and the bottom and a little bit thinner on the sides, right? So that it fits a little bit nicer in the frame. And then on the back, I have fusible interfacing on the back, just to kind of set everything. But yeah, this is it, all framed up. And I'm very excited to give it to her. I can't wait to see her reaction. I know she's gonna love it. Obviously, she requested it. And it was definitely a fun stitch. Like I stitched it at work a lot between patients, and anytime people like saw me stitching it, I had to then explain it, which involved watching the video, which just meant I get to giggle about it all over again. So this was fun to stitch. And there it is, all done. This was like finish number 4 maybe this year. Number 3, number 4, 3 or 4. So I'm very excited that it is finished, and it is fully finished. So the next finish I'm going to show you, I'm so pumped about, because after finishing Woodland Castle in my last update and showing you that, my next oldest whip was this one that I'm about to show you, and now that's done. So amazing. And that is this project here. This is Ophelia by Mirabilia. I started her in August of 2021 and have now finished her in September of 2023. I was really rushing to get her finished because I'm taking her with me in a couple days when I leave for the Queen City Stitch Retreat, which is a Mirabilia themed retreat. I was fortunate enough to get a spot, and I wanted to have her done for the brag table, and I'm so relieved that I do. So last time you saw her, this is what she looked like. This is being stitched on a 32 count linen in the colorway dark olive with all the called for DMCs, and there's 2 Caron water lilies and then all the beads as well. And here she is. You guys, look at how beautiful. Bring you in close. Okay. So see, you can see up in that corner there, it says August 21. And here she is, all beaded up. Now, this is my first time beading, and I took a gamble on how long it was going to take me to bead, because I didn't leave myself like a tremendous amount of time to do it. But fortunately I got it right. It didn't take me nearly as long as I guess it could have. And she does have quite a few beads. She's not obviously the most bead heavy Mira, but she's still got a good chunk in there. So like I said, this is done on a 32 count. I can see why people tend to do Miras and Bellas and anything beaded on a 28, because I did have to do a little bit of doctoring with the beads here. So a 32 is what's called for, but the beads are just big enough that they do tend to look crowded if you put more than like 4 in a row. And as you can see, she's got these like strands all over of beads. So I did have to kind of do a little bit of doctoring. Every once in a while there was one bead that I had to cut out. Not like cut out, but I mean not stitch it in to the pattern, if that makes sense. There she is. Look at her beautiful serene face. It's serene because she's dead. I was on a Zoom call yesterday and we were talking about it, and I was explaining that she is floating in water. Her story is that she jumped out of a tree, landed in water, and either drowned or broke her neck. I don't know. She died somehow from madness, presumably, because she had suffered unrequited love of Hamlet in Shakespeare's play Hamlet. So she looks at peace because she's at eternal peace. She's done. She ain't waking up. But yeah, I'm so proud of her, you guys. I'm so exquisitely happy with her. I love all the flowers and all the vines all over it. The frame with the lily pads on the outside is just so picturesque and beautiful. She's got this gorgeous, like, curly, swirly brown hair that's just like a rich, chocolatey chestnut color. And I couldn't be happier with her. I will be framing her myself. I like framing. I like the process of framing. I tend to order my frames from custom websites, my favorite being Custom Frame Solutions, and because not only are they not only do they have a decent selection, but the prices tend to be good because of the fact that they're always having sales. And if you are confident and comfortable enough to frame yourself, like that's just a more affordable option than taking it to a professional framer, or to a place like a big box store like Michael's or Hobby Lobby, where people have horror stories of the framing just gone wrong, or where they cut your fabric, or they put it in the frame loose or crooked, or, you know, glue it or whatever. I will not be doing that. I will be framing it myself because frankly, I'm the only one who I trust to do it without paying an arm and a leg for it. You know? Okay. There she is. What do you think? Would you guys do this, Mira? I was talking on another Zoom. I was talking to a friend about how I kind of didn't realize how much I was taking on when I started this project as my first Mira, and because she's so, you know, stitch dense, and she goes, yeah, that was pretty ambitious. She's not wrong, it was, but I did it. Okay, so those were my finishes for the month, and I'm just chuffed that I got those done. I'm so proud of them. I can't wait for my sister to get her gift. I can't wait for people to see Ophelia on the brag table and then bring her home so I can get her framed. And I'm also excited to start my next Mira, right? You finish a fancy lady, you get to start a fancy lady. We'll get into that later. So the next whip I worked on this past month is this one here. And this is called Magical Creatures Calendar by Clouds Factory. I got this from their Etsy shop. Last time you saw it, I had just finished the August block. This is being stitched on a 16 count Ada in the colorway Lilac. It's 2/1 full cross with the called for colors, plus the addition of some DMC light effects to give added sparkle. And here it is now. So I have added this little guy here, the September block. If you are curious what the heck he is, he's a satyr. So he's like half man, half goat. And he looks so cute. The sparkle that was added here, obviously he's in the border again, and then in the grass and the trees, as well as in the reds of the apples and his nose and the birds. Very cute little goat man. If some of you are going like, what the heck's a satyr? Like, I promise you, you've seen them before. Disney loves them. Phil from Hercules, Mr. Tumnus from Chronicles of Narnia, Land, the Witch, and Wardrobe. And then these little guys from Fantasia, from the original Fantasia movie. I'm telling you, they're everywhere. Promiscuous little creatures, too. But anyways, there he is. So the next time you see this, presumably, knock on wood, I will have filled in this section here, the October block, which is like a haunted house and a witch and some pumpkins, I believe. And the border just goes straight across like this. And then the bottom section is half November and then half December. Actually, I think it goes, yeah, this way, November, December, and then I'll be done. And like you can see, there's like a little stain on here. Like, this thing is filthy. It is so ready for a wash. I don't know how this thing got so dirty. It does go to work with me sometimes, so I'm sure that has something to do with it. But I can't wait to throw this sucker in a bath because it needs it. So here's the October block. So yeah, this little blue and purple haunted house. We got a full moon back there, which is really cool. I think these are bats, presumably. A little witch on her broom, and then some pumpkins, and it looks like a man-eating plant. Giant fly trap, like man-sized fly trap. So the next project that I worked on was a new start, and this project I had started with Laura of Lala D Stitches. Very excited to have started this project with her because she's adorable and I love her. This is the project here. It's called Arranging Mushrooms by Ink Circles. And it's just a tiny little mushroom sampler. The finished size is 6x4 on a 30 count. And I actually am doing a 16 count, which would be the equivalent of a 32. So mine's gonna be even a teeny bit smaller. And if you know me, you know how much I love mushrooms. So much. I don't know what it is, but they're so cute and I love them and I will always stitch them. So I just got a modest little start because most of my time was focused on finishing my two big finishes. But this is it here. This is being stitched on a 16 count Ada. That is hand dyed. The color is called Pewter Green. It's from the Etsy shop To Dye For Fabrics. And I have to blame Laura of Stitching by the Shore, different Laura, for turning me on to this hand dyer. Her fabrics are wonderful, and this is such like a soft Ada, and the color saturation is really nice. It's very high quality. So I got just a modest little start. This is the center, and then this is the bottom row here. So these three mushrooms are on the bottom. Yeah, this one goes up to here-ish. It's another red one, kind of like this, and that's the top of the project. So you can see it's not very big at all. So yeah, just a little sampler. And this will be one that for sure will be finished next year when I start doing my rotation, because there's not much to it. So give it another couple go rounds and then I think it'll be a 2024 finish, ideally. This next project I also started with a very dear Flosstube friend, and that would be Amy of Fiber Arts Amy. And she and I have just been buddies for a while. And then when I showed on a previous video that I had gotten this kit and I wanted to start it this year, she was like, I have that one, you want to do it together? And I was like, yes, say less. So we started it this month together, and that's this project here. This is called Listening to the Silence, and it is this gorgeous, beautiful, wonderful kit by RTO. I love it so much. The colors are just so whimsical and beautiful. The realism here is fantastic. Like she looks like, it just looks like a pixelated picture. It's so pretty. I'm amazed that I was sleeping on RTO for so long because this is so beautiful. So I am stitching this with all the kit materials. The fabric is a 14 count light gray Ada. It's DMC floss that's provided, and it's stitched 2/1, both full and half cross. And here's where I got to. There's still a little bit of a hoop mark in there, so ignore that. It's looking like a very ghostly half face with a 5 o'clock shadow. It's not much to go on yet. Like, obviously you can see where things are going. Her mouth will be here, her finger right here, 2 eyes, and then the nose. And then this is the part, there's like a sprig of purple flower here and some that are all over on this side, and her hand is kind of holding that up. And then the hair comes down this way. So all I've really got in is just like her pink cheeks and then a little bit of her skin. And then this is it looks weird now, but she does have like this weird shadow in the picture. But right now it just looks like she has a very like masculine jaw, both in shape and color. Because she's got like this 5 o'clock shadow going on. But don't worry, that'll look better once it's filled in. So this is the weird like 5 o'clock shadow part. It's just in shadow in the picture, and I believe it will make more sense once I get the rest of the stitching in. So this is one of those Adas that is like kind of stiff, kind of crunchy, and people tend to hate it. I do not mind stitching on a crunchy Ada at all. part of the reason is because of the fact that when you have an Ada with that much structure to it, like your X's are so crisp and uniform and just beautiful, and you don't even have to try all that hard. Obviously you should still maintain even tension, but I just love the way my X's look on a stiff, crunchy Ada. So I don't mind stitching on it one bit. I know people hate it though. And of course, the more you work it and manipulate it and use the project, the more the Ada softens up. But like I said, I don't mind a stiff Ada. So that was all of my projects that I worked on this month. I just have a little teeny bit of haul to show you, and then we'll go over plans because I'm starting to get towards my whip update that I'm going to do at the end of the year, and then go over plans for like the year. So I'm going to talk about that a little bit. But first I want to show you my little bit of haul. So the first little bit of haul, I do once again have to wag my finger at Laura of Stitching by the Shore because she enabled me again, Laura. She actually showed this haul in her video previously and then called me out by name and was like, Kelly, look at this. And I did, and I was like, well, I guess I'm buying that now. So I actually had some trouble finding it. And let me just show it to you. It's the Just Cross Stitch October magazine. October? Yeah, October magazine. I could for the longest time only find the Halloween edition of Just Cross Stitch magazine, and I couldn't find the October issue anywhere, but I finally found it. There are several patterns in here that just made me go like, oh my god, those are so cute, so pretty. So I had to get it, right? First and foremost is this guy right here on the cover. This is lovely. It's adorable. It's this little lantern, right? With some autumn foliage and a pumpkin. And I just want you to see what's on the back of my hand there. Let me see if I can turn it. It's a lantern. It's more of a cartoon style lantern, but it's a lantern. So this is just perfectly right up my alley. I love this one. This is very cute. And then this other one, which was the reason why Laura called me out by name, is this pattern here. This is called Starry Moth. And it's beautiful. It says, the desire of the moth for the star. I love it. It's gorgeous. So, you didn't ask, but I'm going to tell you, whenever I fill out my arm, this space right in here is going to be a moth. It's not necessarily going to look like this one, but it will be like a hand-sized moth. So whenever I get that, I will be excited to show that to you and share that with you. But then let me show you the couple of other patterns that I just thought were perfection. So I got this one here. This is Mother Nature Halloween. And you may recall I bought the other Just Cross Stitch magazine April? One of the spring ones for the Mother Nature seasonal pattern that was in there for spring. And then I liked, did I get the spring one? I think I got the spring one. Either I got the spring one and I'm still looking for the summer one, or vice versa. But all that to say, this series of the Mother Nature ladies is super cute. And then this one is specifically for Halloween. We got a black cat, which you know I love my little black cats. And she's got this beautiful yellow dress with a little haunted mansion on it. Love it. Aha, speaking of the devil, look, here's the Mother Nature queens. And the ones that I really like, I mean, I like them all, but the ones that I really wanted and like are the summer and the spring one. I think I have summer and I'm looking for spring still. I think. We've also got this cute little Haunted Happenings, which is, I love the fact that it's all purple. Like, I mean, obviously not, it's black and orange too, but like it's very purple on a purple fabric. So cute. Like, this edition of this magazine just kind of knocked it out of the park for me. There's this one, called A Witch's Welcome. And it's like a little witchy sampler with black cat. We got little skulls in the flowers. Is it wine? Is it blood? We don't know. Candelabra, spiders, just all sorts of cute stuff. Love that. And then here's the preview page for the other project. So this one was the cover project. We got some fall, autumn kind of pumpkin projects. Jen, this one made me think of you. It's very like national park-esque. We got this little series here of hanging things, little pillows, little Halloween-y things. And then this, it looks like, is a stitch along, and they've got one of the rows in the back. And these cute little skeletons. Just this shoe is really good. So, highly recommend. Now, the other thing I got, I had actually posted about in some Facebook groups asking for opinions. So, it is my plan in the next year to start this pattern here, which is Spring Sampler by Kooler Design Studio, as well as this one here. This is called Flowers and Lace, right? And now, originally, I was only asking about this one because I thought I had the fabric that I wanted for this one kind of nailed down. But now that I have the fabrics here, I'm still unsure. The picture that I posted for this one showed like an apricot peachy color, a light blue, a lavender, and then a lime green, like very pastel colors of all of those to use as a potential background. And overwhelmingly people wanted light blue as the winner, but by the time that I went to order the light blue, it was sold out, so I did not get that one. But let me show you what I did get. I got 3 options. They are all 32 count Luganas, and I'm probably gonna workshop which 2 of these 3 I'm gonna use for those 2 patterns, and that's these colors here. So I have an opalescent called Desert, which is this beautiful neutral sparkles. This is not the original green that I had posted about. The one that I had posted about was a lime. This is just a subtle, like, springy grass green. And then lavender is this beautiful bright purple. So I think you can see, you know, really any of these colors is gonna work pretty well on both of these patterns. Somebody suggested that the green would be too matchy-matchy with the flosses on this one. And if it was the lime green, I think I would agree. But because these greens are a little bit deeper and brighter, I think that this green would actually be a decent option. And to be honest, that's kind of more where I'm leaning for this one, is the green. I just think it would look so springy and grassy. And then I think I'm leaning more towards this one, the Desert Opalescent, for the Flowers and Lace, right? What do you guys think? Please let me know your opinions, because I really think like any of these 3 would be good options for both of these patterns. And to be perfectly honest, I could totally change my mind by the time I get there, because I don't plan on starting these until January for my New Year, New Starts. So we'll see. Who knows? I don't have the flosses for either of them. Maybe it just, that's what it'll take, is doing a floss toss. So I don't know. We'll see. But that was the other bit of haul, was these 3 fabrics here. And they're so beautiful. Like, all 3 of them are lovely. So, I don't know. Okay, so that officially has kind of led me into plans. So, Woodland Castle was a focus project. Ophelia was a focus project. Those are now done. So the way I'm going to be doing my focus and rotations in the future is to have one focus project that I work on every month until it's finished, and then rotate through the rest of my projects. The next focus project that I have is going to be, and was actually for a time, my long dog sampler, which is the pointed fifth. And this is what it looked like the last time you saw it. I, however, am not going to bring that out just yet. I'm probably going to wait until January to focus on that. Reason being, I have 3 months left of the year, and then I have three additional whips that I had brought into 2023 with me that I have not touched yet this year. So I think what I'm going to do is do one of those whips for each of the 3 months for the remainder of the year, and then focus on my long dog starting January. And here's the three whips that I'm talking about. So the first of the three is this one here. This is a dimensions kit called Frederick the Literate. I have about 25% done on him. So I think I'm gonna whip him out next. After that is my Bella Filipina, which is Luna Mystica. So I think she will be brought out in November. And then the last one is this one here, which is another mushroom project. I know none of you were surprised. And that's called Mushroom Sampler, that I got from an Etsy shop called Cute Patterns by Maria. So I think this will be coming out in December. And then that way I will be going into the new year having put a hand on all of my whips, right? I think that's a good plan. And then additionally, now that my Mira is finished, I will be starting another Mira eventually, but in the meantime, and at the retreat that's coming up, I'm going to be starting this one here. This is the one that I had planned to start for October for this year. This is called Snapdragon, and it is a Nora. Nora Corbett's tend to be a little bit more simple, smaller. So, for example, this one is 5.3 by 9.8 inches, whereas the Ofilia, the Mira that I just did, is like 10.6 by 15. Like, there's a significant size difference. So she is all kitted up and ready to go to the retreat with me, and I'm going to be using this fabric here, which is a 32 count linen in the color Serene. Serene? Is that what it's called? Yes, Serene. The word is split on two levels, so I was a little bit tripped up there. And then I had planned on starting this with Paula of Stitching in High Heels. She's also going to be at the retreat. And I talked to her yesterday, and I totally forgot to ask her if she still intended to start this at the retreat or if she had maybe already started it. But that is the plan, is to stitch this project. Or that was the plan, was to stitch this project with her. Paula, if you've already started or if you no longer want to, that's totally fine. Don't feel obligated. But this is going to be my start for next month, and I will be starting it at retreat. Alrighty, that's it. That's everything. And I mean, it was a lot, right? The finishes that I have were pretty sizable this month, and so that was really exciting. The one for my sister I started in February, so that took a decent chunk of the year, and then of course Ophelia took just over 2 years, so I'm very, very pleased that I got those done. How exciting, right? Wasn't that? I don't know. There are people who have been watching me stitching on Ofilia since I started this channel, coming up on 2 years ago. So I mean, I hope that you guys are equally as excited about it as I am. But that's everything. If you have any questions at all, drop me a comment. I've got my email listed down below as well. And I will have anything and everything humanly possible that I can link in the description box for you to check out. And that's it. I will be filming a retreat video, but I won't do it as part of my regular Flosstube update. So that way, if there's, those of you out there who just don't care, you don't have to watch it, obviously. So that'll be like a Flosstube extra. Okay, so I'm gonna go film my Quilter's Corner video and then get those edited and uploaded ASAP because I know some people get antsy whenever I start dragging my feet at this time of the month because they know that there's an update coming, and sometimes I'm just lazy and I take a while to post it. But Amy, I'm looking at you. It's gonna be up today. Don't worry. And I will see you guys at the end of October. I hope you have an excellent October with lots of great weather, lots of good stitching, lots of creativity, and health and happiness, and all the things. I'll catch up with you guys in a month.